The Wedding Thinners podcast. Listen to our podcast. The buffet's closed. Wear smaller clothes. Well, here we are, episode 11 of The Wedding Thinners. Welcome back. If you've been listening to the other podcasts, thank you ever so much. We are at Beechsound Studios once again, and joining us physically in the studio today, we've got Dan Burt. Say hi, Dan.
Hello.
There's Dan. And also, for the very, very first time, we've given him a microphone, Adam Hall Osman, our studio supremo legend that is, and also owner of all things Beechsound Studio. You come and say hello as well, mate, aren't you?
I did. Hello.
Hello, there he is.
And I'm going to
go. Bye. And joining us virtually as well, we've got Tony Bowen. So Tony's virtually... where are you, Tony?
So I'm in West London in Park Royal, just by Ealing.
And you're gonna be the music guy today for us, aren't you?
Yeah. I'll do a little tune that's written in lockdown and maybe a cheeky little cover as well.
Amazing. That sounds good. So we've got lots of exciting things lined up for you. So I think it's probably a good place to start with. Start with Dan, just because you're here, Dan, and just tell us a little bit about what you do, what your background is.
My background, I did a degree in sport rehabilitation. I work in a physio clinic in St John's Wood, northwest London, Abbey Road.
Yeah, well, nice.
What I thought until I came here was probably the most iconic studio in the world. But
and now
it's
in Abbey Road, Beechsound, on the same path.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I do exercise rehabilitation for people that have been, are, or don't want to be injured. Deal with kind of postural issues and strength and conditioning issues.
Okay. You're a very talented person with getting people fit and making them apply.
Maintaining their fitness, bringing them back. Yeah. It's personal training essentially. A lot of reformer Pilates, but say it's in a physio setting, so it's very much to do in and around injuries.
Do you notice how I've changed my posture ever since you said that?
Everyone does, and I've slumped.
Thin thread, pulling the back of the head.
And you've gone to your full height.
I have.
Excellent.
That feels better, actually.
Does it?
Thank
Good.
you. See? Suggestive. You don't even have to say anything. And Tony, just tell us a little bit about yourself, mate. What's your background? What do you do, and what have you done?
Yes, I grew up in southwest Wales, and I moved to London in around the year 2000 or so, and just drudging through gigs, trying to push on through as much as I can, really. Just
being oh no,
finding gigs and like just trying to pay the rent.
Are you there, Tony?
I am.
Okay, you keep breaking up that end, mate. Just go again about you're just trying to. You were struggling through, trying to find some. Hello.
Yeah. So can you hear me now, better?
Yeah, that's better. Hello, there you are.
Cool.
We missed an awful lot of what you did, but the general gist of it, you moved down from Wales to London, and then you sort of stopped.
Yeah, I moved up to London, and then found a little corner box of a room to move into, and just slowly but surely, gig by gig, got by, and to where I am today, really.
Cool. And when did you move down to London again?
Around the year 2000, I went to Guildford first to music college, and then came up to London a couple of years after that.
Right, okay, cool. Very, very cool. Okay, and Tony, one of the reasons why, you actually responded to one of my many posts pleading for musicians to come and have a chat. So what was it about the sort of post that interested you first and foremost? I didn't really do anything interesting as such. I just sort of said, I need musicians, please send help. So what was it about the whole idea of the Wedding Thinners podcast that made you sort of want to get involved?
Yeah, the kind of gist of what you guys are talking about and stuff, and just the wellness side of the musician thing was really interesting for me.
Yeah.
And obviously in lockdown, it's been really tough for a lot of people.
It has, yeah. So what? I presume, much like most professional musicians that we know, that you would have had a pretty fully stocked 2020. What was 2020 sort of shaping up for you? What was it looking like for you?
It was going to be a nice, busy summer of weddings and pubs. Before week in pubs around London, on pretty much the day that it announced that we were going into lockdown, it was the day before St. Patrick's Day, I had 3 gigs on that day that were all then called up. Sorry, everything's cancelled. So that was a definite kick in the nether regions.
Yeah, of course. And how did you? I mean, because that initial point for us, well, I say for us, for me, and I know for my pals as well, was certainly for me, I was thinking, well, we'll be back to it. A few weeks, bit of lockdown, a couple of homemade quiches, and we'll all be good to go. I mean, what was your initial thoughts? Were you sort of similar, or were you completely like, oh dear?
Yeah, for me. So I actually straight away, because I thought, right, St. Patrick's Day, I'd learned a load of extra kind of Irish tunes, kind of to get on message, and I thought, right, well, I'm not going to leave them to waste. I jumped straight on the Facebook Live kind of streaming thing, took requests, because what I do normally in my gigs, via social media, people send me song requests.
Oh, this is the human jukebox, isn't it?
Try not to ruin it.
Is this the human jukebox?
Yes,
That's
yes,
one
indeed.
of your things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once upon a time, I was invited to go on Danny Wallace's breakfast show on XFM.
Okay.
Because they'd released a book of the top 1,000 songs of all time. And I thought, if they're genuinely good songs, you should just be able to play them on a guitar. And then I went on the show, and he kind of dubbed me Sir Human Jukebox a lot. And yeah, that kind of went from there. And then I just realised that you spend so much time trying to work on set lists, having the perfect opening track, and then it moving through the thing, and then the big finish. And I realised that particularly in a pub environment, people just want to hear the songs they love. So I just found a way of getting them tweeting me initially, and then I've actually found that things like Instagram is better to get those requests.
So it's quite an interactive.
It's fun. It means every gig is different.
Yeah, very interactive as well.
Yeah, it really, really is, and it's good for just kind of as a selling point to pubs as well. Like to be able to say that all those people who were enjoying it last time, I can tell them I'm back next week or whenever, and they'll specifically come. So it's a good little snowball effect.
That's good. I'm taking notes this end. Stealing that idea. Sorry, Tony. I'll do it in Kent. You do it in London. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
That could be your territory. Very good. And so for you, Dan, I mean, of course, I'm not sure how lockdown impacted. Well, I'll sort of have an idea of how lockdown impacted for you. But back in March, things looking rosy for you. Things looking pretty good. Busy.
Yeah, busy. Just normal.
Yeah,
ticking over.
And then
fearful of what was happening, and then I got coronavirus.
Right.
Yeah. So
you've had the vid.
I've had it. Yeah, the Rona. So the week. What was it? Yeah, mid-March. It was like the week before lockdown. I was in lockdown. And then, the fear that came with it, that kind of the pattern that everyone seemed to go through, that initial.
So were you the first one to have it in your family?
Yes.
You were.
Yeah,
so how was it?
It was all right. Yeah, I mean,
all right. It was fine.
It wasn't. It was the worst I've ever felt for 24 hours.
Right.
So I finished on a Friday, came home, felt a bit peaky, and then went to bed. And then the next day, absolutely wiped out. Slept 24 hours, headache like I've never had before. Sunday, much the same, bit better, and then just bored of being in bed. And then Claire got it. And it was like taste and smell had gone, and that was before it was a kind of a known symptom. And then Claire had said the same, and then we just kind of got better. Claire was a bit worse for a little bit longer, but still not too bad. It never really went to cough or chest or anything like that. It was just a real kind of viral head thing. Yeah. Lethargy.
So were you pleased to sort of get it out of the way in some respects?
Yeah, I wasn't. I suppose. Yeah, I don't remember thinking that at the time, but I think probably how we've been since. You feel like there's a bit of not invincibility, but you feel you're probably you're doing the right thing, but you feel you're less fearful. Yeah, I would say.
I mean, I suppose you know how your body deals with that strain, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But then it was what now? Work and the fear and. So,
did your work completely stop? I mean,
I couldn't go in. So by the time I was better, I couldn't go back. So, couldn't go back, get my diary and stuff like that. It's all done remotely, but that's fine. But just little things like, wow, now what? Yeah. And then, you just rally, don't you? You just get by and adapt, overcome, whatever. So I've did Zoom sessions. Right. And still doing those. So I kind of still, for people that are not yet prepared to venture out, or they prefer it actually, and it's working well for them. So I'm in the studio less now, right? And supplementing that with Zoom stuff, and it's actually been great actually.
That's good, and it's
a nice balance to it.
It makes it adds a lot more flexibility, I suppose, doesn't it, to the job.
I'm home more.
Yeah,
I know we've spoken about it, and you've said on previous pods, it's the benefit of it, and the positives that have come from it. That you just, you have to get on, don't you? And to be home, great long summer. Despite obviously it's an awful thing, but when you look at it within your own little bubble, we've had some great times, and kids. I know you had it the same. Yeah. Kids learning to ride the bikes. Yeah. It's just been great learning to swim, and it's
funny because
it's weird,
I was saying to my wife yesterday how often people say that the busier you are, the quicker time goes. But actually, I feel like although there's on the one hand, it does feel like this is completely dragged, but actually, when you look back to that time. I mean,
it's like anything when you think back, isn't it?
Absolutely.
March seems like yesterday, but the bits in between, so much has happened within that period.
Absolutely.
And you can't thinking pre-kids. You can't think of a time before them, can you?
No,
and it's just
no, you can't. No. Despite you really trying sometimes. Yeah.
So it's
I've had that. A few friends of mine have recently had babies, and they would have never had that amount of time with that new baby,
absolutely,
because they would have been working so much.
It's an absolute godsend,
And that's I think I've said that in an earlier podcast as well. That time is absolutely golden, and for guys, you usually only get like the 2 weeks, don't you? Was it 2 weeks paternity leave if you want it? And actually to have more,
if you're employed.
That's if you're employed, yeah. And to have more, what a fantastic what
the
amazing
only negative, I guess, because with schools and things like that, where now when the kids finally go back to school, how much attachment issues they probably will have, because they'll have only known their parents, and then suddenly there's a whole bunch of other kids and parents and teachers and things like that they've got to adjust to.
It's quite interesting because I think actually my little boy was he started school in September, and for him, of course, he didn't really know any different, and I suppose therefore for him it's been absolutely fine. He started school, and it's not what's different about it. But I guess
that's his normal, isn't it?
Yeah, for youngsters who are going to school who have had to have 6 months off, that's going to be the real challenge. I mean, I'm also a secondary school teacher, and I've seen, there have been, well, certainly right back at the beginning when schools came back, there were so many tears, and so many students with anxieties and fears and worries, and I'm really pleased to see that's calming significantly now. But I think there's always going to be there'll be an underlying current of it for a very, very long time. And you find it, I guess, with some staff as well. So yeah, but actually, speaking of babies, and Adam probably knows full well now that I'm gonna come on to him. So we should say at this point, Adam, you and your lovely girlfriend are expecting a baby. Is that right?
We are. 7th of January.
7th of January.
It's the due date. Yeah.
We should say congratulations because it is all out in the public now. Congrats.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, there we go.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you don't know what you're having though, do you?
No, it's a surprise, and very, very excited.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Have you got crossed for a baby then?
Yeah. You want a baby, right?
Yes, that would be preferred. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You've got all the stuff you need. You don't know. I've got some nappies.
I think we're pretty much sorted. Yeah.
You're sorted. Okay. Well, I'm only down the road, 10 minutes away, mate. If you need anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just won't be changing the nappies. That's all on you.
Damn it! That was the one thing I wanted you to do.
How are you for lockdown? Because again, Adam, what many people may not know about Adam is that as well as running a prolifically beautiful studio here in East Malling, you are also incredibly busy with your band, The Tunes. You've got your original stuff with Valley Drive as well. I know you've got a lot of projects sort of on the go. You've got something in the pipeline as well. So what was it looking like for you, mate?
This year was just meant to be like most other years for us, function band-wise. Like we do probably about 150 weddings and functions each year. And we was booked to do an American tour with a touring Gatsby-themed show. I think we had like 3 American dates and then like 4 dates in Canada. And that was meant to happen in March.
That would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
That would have been so good. It's like bucket list.
Yeah.
And yeah, as soon as this whole Corona thing started, we was just like, oh, please don't let it like affect this tour. And then we finally got the email saying, yeah, it's been cancelled. Massive bummer, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Like, it's just we're all in the same boat.
So, man, totally gutted for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Rebooked for January the 8th.
Yeah.
yeah, the day after the baby's born.
Just cancel the baby.
Yeah. I think you could take the, give the baby a couple of months and then go on the road with the baby. That can't be hard, right?
That would be pretty fun.
I think it would be fun. I think it would be absolute chaos, though, wouldn't it?
Or go early, have a Canadian baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dual nationality.
That would have been pretty cool.
Then you could move to Canada.
Canada.
Yeah. Well, we're
So with the whole lockdown babies thing, like you got bored quickly.
yeah. Let's not sit and analyse when this happened, but
Yeah.
we all know when it happened.
Yeah. It was always the plan, I'll just say that.
All right. Yeah. This was just a very convenient time.
Yeah.
And now it feels really weird that we're discussing that, but yeah, no. And congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Super pleased for you, and I think Tony, do you have kids?
No, I haven't.
You
got
don't.
kids,
Okay, so Dan and I, at least, and I'm sure Tony, who you know people with kids, will say the best of luck. It is the best of times, and there's plenty of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
And that's from
And it's all
adults.
worth it.
It is all
exactly.
worth it, absolutely. And it absolutely shame about your tour, mate. And I'm fingers crossed for you that in some form that'll come back and
Hopefully one
you
day,
guys will
yeah.
be able to crack on with it. Yeah, it's
be
never
lovely.
the end, is it? You're not going to finish gigging as a result of that.
No,
So.
no, exactly.
Yeah. Tony, you mentioned to me when we chatted the other day, you'd been doing a lot of writing during lockdown, and sort of one of the things that we discussed was the whole, we've sort of briefly discussed the change of, your lifestyle changes. It goes from being, oh well, I don't know if you like me and like Adam and even like Dan, you go from having a really hectic life where you've got to be places at certain times, you've got a gig here, a gig there, you've got a session here, you've got to go and train here and go and do that, and then to suddenly just the brakes are just slammed on completely. That for me, I found that the hardest thing to sort of deal with was suddenly my brain didn't have all that activity and all that stuff to be thinking of anymore.
I mean,
so,
the kind of loneliness kind of kicked in quite quickly. So my girlfriend's a head teacher, so she was working the whole time. Even the holidays, the way would normally be off, that she had to for the primary workers. Like she had to be in school for for Easter and then even some of the summer.
Yeah.
So I literally was at home twiddling my thumbs like a lot, and so things like. So I said I jumped straight on the Facebook Live stuff, and that was it was for me as much as anything else that I just wanted to have connection with people. I don't think I realized how much that was a thing for me. I just when you're doing the job, you just think, right, turn up, do a gig, go home, and you don't necessarily notice that connection to people. But then when you're not doing those gigs, you really go,
really miss
wow,
it.
okay. Yeah, I haven't spoken to anyone today.
And that's tough, isn't it? I think the live streaming thing, and even like down to your Zoom PT sessions as well. I think one of the most amazing things to come from all of it is the fact that now people's livelihoods can change in such a way. You can be very virtual, you can be very flexible, and I think that's going to exist. That's it now. It's in there as part of the game, isn't it?
It will bounce back in some way, but it's very definitely going to change. You
Absolutely.
can see,
but it has
clients I have. And
that flexibility's got to be amazing. Like that's a benefit, isn't
absolutely,
it? Really?
Yeah.
So that's changing
Well,
the whole.
not for everyone.
Well, no, of course,
not
but
for,
but to be able to
businesses
say
that rely on footfall, but then places out of town benefit from that.
yeah,
So,
they do.
The fish shop near us has never been so busy, and everyone's getting
the
their
funny
lunch
thing as
from
well
the
is
bakers
that by
rather than
doing the
prep.
online.
Sorry.
You there, Tony?
Oh yeah. Sorry. No, I was saying the funny thing as well about doing the online kind of gigs is because I did it every day at 1:00 with a different theme. So people were requesting songs on different themes just to try and keep it interesting and make me have to think as well as make them have to think.
Yeah.
But it meant that I grew like a bit of a following like of people that had never ever been to a gig of mine.
Yeah.
And we're nowhere near London. Like there's a load of guys up in Scotland who I think one of them had maybe been to a gig of mine in London, so that's how the kind of connection was there. But then that person invited all of their friends, and they were tuning in every day at 1:00 and
cool.
giving me the most ridiculous requests on whatever theme I'd come up with.
What's the strangest request you've had within your lockdown sessions, your lockdown live sessions?
I mean, they're all. It depends. I mean, so just looking at the thing I've got in front of me here, Invisible Touch Genesis, Miss Dynamite.
Was that Miss Dynamite? He?
Yeah. just so many different.
That's very cool.
Like it was actually fun coming up with the different themes as well. Obviously, I did the decades. Obviously, that's an easy one to tick off. But then I literally had to go right. Anything that's got a color in it or a country or anything like that. And it was good. It really made me have to. It got me in. It definitely caught me out many,
I was going to say, it must have, you go from, it must have got your brain, like, you gets your brain going as well, doesn't it? It gives it something to really process and do, because that's the most painful part of it. Was
for that.
Physically, if you're at home, you've got stuff that you could be doing at home, but mentally, it's not necessarily the most stimulating of things.
And it's not a quiz.
Yeah, the quizzes. We very quick. I think we did 5. I must add at this point that with the Atkins family quizzes that we were part of, my brood, my clan, Jane and I, we were the winners. So overall, we were the winners. So if any of them are listening, we've still got that, and we will hold on to that forever, and we will never ever join another quiz, because then we'll always be the champions. That's wonderful. And you also did a load of writing, Tony. That's sort of one way that you managed to quell a bit of boredom. Is that right?
Yeah. So I kind of joined this kind of songwriting circle writing group thing with a woman in Nashville called Sarah Spencer, and she does. I think she did it more often during lockdown, but like every 3 or 4 months, she would do a week where she would give 5 kind of prompts and what she would then call an amplifier. And sometimes it would be a list of 10 random words and 4 chords, or just things to try and make you think outside the box, ways you would not normally write songs. And yeah, I found it was great. And then obviously everyone posts their tune that they come up with. Is within 24 hours, you've got to write the song. And people will give feedback on each other's songs. I met some other really cool songwriters just doing it as well, and just going to be doing more collaborative kind of stuff with them over in America. And yeah, it's cool. It's good fun.
No, it is great. So are you gonna perform one of those tracks that you wrote in lockdown for us today?
Yeah.
You gonna do one of those?
So this one is called Pull the Wool Over My Eyes.
Okay, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I presume your performing name is Tony Bowen, is that right?
Yeah.
It's not something unusual. Pull the Wool Over My Eyes, Tony Bowen, he's going to play for us right now. So have a listen.
What point did you decide to pull the wool over my eyes? Is it a permanent disguise for me? Like a sheep in wolf's clothing, or do you stop and not begin? I think it's starting to within for me. But if you're in love with somebody, well, I know I'll be okay. And if you need someone to listen from a distance, maybe I'll stay. What's a boy supposed to do? If I ain't right over the split in two, stick with me and I'll stick with you. And if I fell for another girl, she'd have to be a diamond or at least a pearl. Or maybe then I'd give her a swirl or two. But if you're in love with somebody, well, I know I'll be okay. If you need someone to listen from a distance, well, I'll stay. What point did you decide to pull the wool over my eyes? Is it a permanent disguise for me? Like sheep in wolf's clothing, or do you stop and not begin? I think it's starting to within for me. But if you're in love with somebody, well, I know I'll be okay. If you need someone to listen, even from a distance, maybe I'll stay. What's a boy supposed to do? If I ain't right over the another girl. She'd have to be a diamond or at least a pearl. Maybe I'll give her a twirl or two. But if you're in love with somebody, well, I know I'll be okay. And if you need someone to listen, even from a distance, and I'll stay. What point did you decide to pull the wool over my eyes?
Hey, yes. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, the fantastic Tony Bowen. Thank you, Tony. Tell us a little bit more about that song then. So where did that originate? Was that one of the sort of Nashville songwriting circle jobbies, or was that just something that came to you?
Yeah, it's a bit of a combination, really. It's just the phrase "pull the wool over my eyes" kind of came to me, and I kind of riffed on that a bit, and yeah, and I just thought then the chorus kind of it was one of those songs that kind of wrote itself. It just fell out of me.
Right, well, that's good. They're always the fun ones, aren't they? When they just come from nowhere, they're always the fun one. And you're going to do another track for us a little bit later on as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is it one that we can request, or is it can we human jukebox it, or is it one that you've already decided upon?
I was considering doing that Harry Styles tune, but
okay. I am a bit of a fan. All right, well, we'll go with the Styles maybe. We'll try and get him on the podcast, and he can review the performance. So Harry Styles, if you are listening, we would love to be sponsored by you, and also please join us as a guest as well. So Adam, I know you're sort of here today having a chat, but you've got such an amazing space here. Tell us about Beechsound. What's the sort of? I know what it does because obviously we're in here most weeks bothering you, and you're very kindly accepting us coming into your studio. But where did the idea sort of originate? What sort of things have you been doing? I know you've been so busy during lockdown doing a lot of things virtually, but just tell us a bit about Beechsound.
Yeah, so I've always wanted to have a studio. Like when we got our first house, having a space to record and stuff was always going to be part of our what we wanted from the house kind of thing. So we found this place. It had a nice big garage, and I was like, that's literally perfect. So then, saved up a bit.
And you built all this yourself?
Yeah, with a bit of help from a carpenter friend who did the main structure of the inside room. And then I did all the decorating and soundproofing and stuff. And it's all come together. I'm really, really pleased with it.
Yeah, you should be, man. It's such a fantastic space, and I think when you walked in this morning, you're like, this is a bit good. You do walk in, and suddenly you've just got this space in front of you which screams creativity, screams, you can do something amazing in here. So but it's not just music that you do in here, is it? You do other things as well.
Yeah, so I started out doing more like videography and photography kind of stuff, and then the music, I guess, kind of come later. So luckily I can tie that in and do both. So I've been doing some drum cover videos. All of my bands, the tunes, we do a lot of videos in here, studio sessions.
The Prison Beach Club guys in here
Prison
as well.
Beach Club, they're awesome. Yeah, we did a one take, continuous shot for them. That was really cool.
Was that all one take?
Yeah, for their videos. I was just roaming around, kind of like Wolfpack. I don't know if you've seen their Madison Square Garden things. We wanted to go with that kind of style.
That's awesome. I might have to have a chat with you about that.
Yeah,
we've been doing some demos in lockdown for Kingtastic.
Yeah,
but we definitely need to get that kind of live vibe. And that sounds, the one shot thing sounds exactly the kind of thing I had in my head, actually.
Yeah.
Well, take a look on the Facebook page, because we put the Prison Beach Club video that Adam directed, produced, and sort of. Is it fair to say you directed it? I suppose it is, isn't it?
I held the camera, so
yeah.
Sure.
You are the director, producer.
I'll take it.
The creative overlord.
Why not throw in choreographer as well?
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I'll take that.
There were dance moves, so it works well. But yeah, do get in touch with Adam, mate. He's a legend, and we'll most certainly be able to do some stuff with you as well.
Yeah,
aside from the baby on the way, is there anything sort of exciting in the pipeline for the studio?
Just got some more sessions in. I'm starting a John Mayer tribute band thing, which should be cool. We're recording the tracks for that. as we speak.
Nice.
Not right now, but yeah.
Is that more John Mayer trio or more John Mayer? John Mayer?
Well, we've got like a big 6-7 piece band, so it's more like the full setup. But I think we are excited to do some of the trio stuff as well.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's quite exciting at the moment.
And are you singing and playing on that?
Yeah.
Very yeah, okay. Fill everyone with confidence about it.
It's gonna be great. Yeah. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do a music special at some point.
Yeah,
That'll be
why
fun.
not?
Why not? All right. And Dan, you play a bit of music as well, don't you? Got the old Joanna at home.
Yeah.
What's your favourite tune to be playing at the moment?
Oh, when the Spurs.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Which hopefully you'll be playing later on today.
Absolutely.
With any luck. A fellow Spur here. Tony, are you footballing in any way?
Well, being a Welshman, I do not give two hoots about football.
So you're a
all
rugby.
about the rugby.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So Dan, what I'd be really interested to hear from for you, like one of the things that when I first started sort of going through the process and starting to, because I box and I do a lot of weight training now. That sort of came a little bit later, the weight training. But certainly when I remember doing my first proper boxing session and coming home, and the days afterwards, the days of pain, the days of absolute agony of my limbs and my muscles sort of going, what have you been doing? And I imagine now, looking back at that, that's a very common thing for somebody who wasn't necessarily exercising but was active. So I wasn't, pushing those muscles and those limbs to the extremes that they needed to be. But like, what are common injuries that somebody starting out might experience? Somebody who has been pretty, maybe they've done nothing. There's been no exercise and they need to get going. What are some common things that people can expect?
Well, certainly that pain.
Yeah.
It's stress. You're causing stress to the body. That is what you're supposed to do. So it's you heal and get stronger. So you are causing stress, and that is the healing process and the pain that comes with it. Now, causing stress and doing too much, it's hard to know where that balance is. You often get tendon injuries, so the points where the muscle attaches to a bone. So if you're doing a lot of running, you can get a lot of Achilles, calf injuries, stuff like that. Boxing, you might get joint pain, elbow pain. So that's why it's always good to have a trainer.
Yeah.
So you've got your guy, your boxing guy. So he will guide you accordingly. So I'd always say, make sure if you're going into something that you pay the money.
Yeah.
You see someone, an expert in whatever it is that you want to do. And like with your boxing, you're learning a skill, and that's all part of it. But they will guide you and let you know that pain is a good thing.
Yeah. Remind you that it's a good thing.
Yeah. Or if you're peeing blood, then you might have overdone it.
Yeah. Most
Bit
definitely.
of rhabdo going on. But it's yes, it tends to be tendon injuries, and everyone kind of presents with a story, if you like. So their pattern that has brought them to a point: injuries, working habits. So you spend all day sitting at a desk, and and certain muscles are going to get short, other muscles are going to get long, and then you're going to do the opposite to try and combat that. And then it has to be a kind of structured program of doing that to come away from what is essentially your new norm.
Yeah.
So you stand up from a chair, you would essentially walk away in that same hunched position. So you've got to coax away the tightness and gradually strengthen the opposing muscles, if you like. So it's
it's habits, isn't it, really?
Habits.
By the
Everything
sound
is habits.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
And
the creatures are habits. So it's
about
easy to slip into. Absolutely.
reprogramming those habits.
And that's true of everything, dietary, exercise, whatever it may be.
Yeah. It totally
work
is.
habits. It's
Even
do what
music,
we do, don't we?
like little and often learning, like when you're learning something new, do it little by little bit, and just building up the muscle memory and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Learning the basics, right, and going from there.
Yeah, and small chunks, isn't it? Only recently I've sort of started to see I've been comparing the parallels between learning a piece of music, and also then starting out with exercising as well and learning that skill. And I guess now I'm at a point where not the only reason, but one of the significant reasons why I still paid to see a PT, because I do know how to do these things now. I've learnt those skills, but the most significant reason is because it's that accountability.
Absolutely.
And I actually did.
You'll let yourself down, but you won't let your trainer down.
Right, exactly. And I'm almost afraid. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because yesterday I had an online session booked in, and it was a little bit late starting, and I just got going. And May started calling me, and I said, "Oh, just a minute. I'm just finishing up with 20 lunges." And in my mind, I was a bit like, wow, let's rewind 3 years ago. I would never have stood in the gym waiting for her or for Elliot to turn up, thinking, I'll just get a few reps in here. I'll just do a few of these and then see how we get on. And so I think,
and it gets about that habit, isn't it? You'd put that in your mind that I am working out from this time to this time, so let's get going. And then when she joins me, she can tell me what I'm doing wrong.
And it's confidence as well, isn't it? That you're not in there looking around, looking for inspiration for other people, copying what they do, their bad habits maybe or not. But it's
typically for me in a gym studio though, it's actually, I find it a bit more intimidating having other people. I've found that actually doing it online, I feel a lot more comfortable in my skin. In the sense of just being able to make those muck-ups. And it wasn't until I went to and have my first session with May. We went to a gym in Gravesend called Bulks, and Bulks is it's your sort of archetypal gym. It's in an industrial unit. It's a proper muscle gym, and like I remember when she said, "Look, come down to Bulks," and I'd already sort of seen a little bit of Bulks. I knew a few people that went, and I was like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to be really comfy in there, but I'll go. And it was May that said, the thing is, everybody in there will be so supportive of you. And it was like within a few sessions of going there, people were like, "Hey, going Tommy, how you doing? Oh, try to do this, And if I happened to be there on my own doing something for 5 minutes before or afterwards, somebody would always come over, a complete stranger, and say, "Oh, when you're doing that, maybe put your foot here and think about it." And that was brilliant. And it even came down to the fact that the person behind the desk, who you obviously start to build a bit of a relationship with, I came in a few weeks later like, "Oh, Tommy, you look like you've lost weight here and here," and it was just like it was the complete opposite of what I expected. I expected,
and that's exactly it. Your
expected that person to come and point and laugh.
Well,
that really upset me. Your friend that said that a few pods ago.
That was Liam,
because that is, well, I've never experienced it, but I've not heard many stories like that because so many people are willing to help because everyone has been day one in a gym. You don't know what's gone before, but everyone has gone to the gym for the first time and doesn't know what they're doing. Even Arnie. Right? So everyone has a start point. So be vulnerable. Ask questions. People will want to help. When have you ever not reacted to someone in a way? If someone comes to you for advice,
you will give them that.
You'll give them that. So no one's any different to you.
No.
Again,
so be a peer. Well. Absolutely, for anything. Be vulnerable.
People are frightened.
The first time you went on stage, you.
Go on, Tony. Sorry, mate.
No. So you can bring that back to music with like the first time that you go on stage. It's kind of similar, like you expecting in your head you have people just booing at you or whatever else. Like in the gym scenario, you expect people just to go, "Ha! Look at him trying to lift that."
Yeah, to be looking and laughing and pointing. Yeah. No,
well, everyone's looking around for inspiration often.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling, why are they looking? And it's your insecurities. Not yours, one's insecure, and yours, but everyone's. Everyone's just looking around to see what everyone else is doing, and often I'll be doing it, and I'm like, that's an interesting exercise. I wonder why they're doing that. But then the perception of that is, look at him staring.
Yeah.
So it's mindset.
There almost needs to be a sign up saying, I'm looking at you, like wear a badge. I'm inspired by you. Like it is.
Why not?
And it's the same for. I mean, Adam, I know we've been to gigs before where we've just stood and we're staring at the musicians on stage, and actually, in hindsight, when you think about it that way, that must be incredible. Well, maybe it's not, but that could be perceived as quite intimidating. We're just looking.
If you're just a bloke looking, it's fine. But you're Tom Knight from Beer Pressure. And it's going to put a great deal of.
You can always tell when there's a musician in the audience.
They're staring at the hands of the guitarist.
Arms crossed, just staring.
Yeah, that is me. People think I'm not enjoying live music.
I do it as well.
Yeah, I am enjoying it. I mean, look, and actually, I don't know about you, Adam, but if I'm enjoying it, I'm crossing my arms and I'm really watching because I'm thinking, how did they do that?
Even looking grumpy, like that's a compliment. That's like, that's good.
Tony, are you the same as Adam and I?
Yeah, pretty. I mean, I do like a good dance. I do like a good dance, but I just know that everyone who's on stage somewhere is better than me, so I just don't feel it's easier to not judge.
I wouldn't say I'm judging. I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to get better. That's all it is for me. Looking at them, Christ, how did they do that? Yeah, okay. Again,
How
I
many
think.
fingers has that guy got?
Yeah, how is it that he can do this? Yeah, that's often the consideration of mine. But it's interesting how there are definitely parallels between music and the sort of fitness side of things, and it's all those. I think it's because it falls down to that skills-based stuff, isn't it? And it's the change of like muscle memory, like Tony said. So, Adam, how do you? This is a real curveball question for you, mate. How do you learn? Let's say you've got a song, and you've got to learn it for a first dance. What's your process? What do you go through to learn it?
I'll just play it and play it and play it. Like, I try to learn by ear, so I'll like play the song, try and play along, figure it out, because that way, if my brain has worked out what the chords are, I'm more likely to remember it rather than just reading it. So I'll try and play it by ear, and then I'll just play it over and over again until it's in.
It's repetition.
Repetition, yeah.
And the same for you, Tony, I guess.
I kind of have that. I mean, I'm primarily a singer when I'm with Kingtastic rather than playing any of the instruments. But so my learning process for that is put it on repeat in my ears and go for a run.
Yeah.
Until I'm too sick and tired of that song.
Yeah.
I'll put something else
That's
on.
my-
And then
I'm-
I'll listen to it a couple more times before I finish, and it's normally pretty lodged in.
Yeah, that's my process. I mean, maybe I'm a singer as well by trade, I suppose. So maybe different different instrumental disciplines learn it differently. But I'm the same as you. Play it as much until the point of I'm sick to death of it. You know, I could close my eyes and I can still sort of hear the changes and where it's going to. It's sort of plotting out that map. But the idea of being in a gym, that's repetition based as well, right?
Absolutely.
And just sort of learning those very small changes. One thing that still amazes me, and even doing it virtually, is May can look at what I'm doing. She'll say, "Stop, move your right foot to the right a little bit more," and that will make it easier. And she's not even in the bloody room, and she can see.
It's what you know, isn't it? So I could look at the way Adam's here with it. And what is he up to there? And it's just like effortless.
He just knows it.
But you watch somebody walk and you can see the subtle kinks in their body. So you need to know a lot to not know very much. If that makes sense. So a subtle little turn out of the toe.
Yeah.
It's just a little foot turn, but the impact of
But
that
that's
on
the
your
thing.
knee, or it's coming down from the hip or up from the foot. Yeah.
Oh, she's so fussy, but it's just obviously there's a reason for it, and it does make it better. So, fair play.
I guess it works the same way, the opposite way, where you're thinking this exercise is doing nothing for me, and then she says, "Turn your foot out just 2 degrees that way," and then you're like, "This is impossible."
And that must be the same with learning an instrument or whatever,
Absolutely.
right? That you learn it the wrong way and you keep doing it and you will bed in that wrong thing.
Most of the way I learn things are the wrong way, but I think it is that idea of you do just eventually click within that right, and it is adjustments, isn't it? When I think back to bar chords, the very first time I learned to play bar chords, they're bloody difficult, and it was just that repetition. I'm looking at Adam because I know it would have been exactly the same, and for you as well, Tony. Bar chords, they're bloody difficult, and like. I remember I had a Bare Naked Ladies book and I was intent on learning all those songs, and then suddenly there were these bar chords and I was looking at it thinking, well, that's not natural. How am I supposed to...
If people don't know that there's a band called Bare Naked Ladies, this is going to be
There is a band called the Bare Naked Ladies, yes, but other Bare Naked Lady books are available. But they're not quite as harmonious. Well, they might be, I suppose. Anyway, we won't dwell on that. Tangent.
That's another podcast.
It's a whole nother podcast. The Bare Naked Ladies podcast with Adam Hall Osman. So, Dan, we were talking about people getting started with fitness and things like that. But and we were talking about the injuries. What would you say are some... Let's say you're looking at me for the first time. Let's say we've met for the first time. I've come to you saying, look, I want to lose some weight. And I know that it would be very, very personable. I know it's going to be different for different people. But let's say if there's somebody at home and they're listening to this and they really want to get going with something. Let's say they're a big guy. They're like me. What would be a nice, gentle introduction to some sort of exercise? What could they do?
More
movement.
More, yeah. It's far more complex, but it's really very simple. Do a bit more. More out, less in.
Yeah.
It's far more complex than that, of course.
But that's
in a simple way, absolutely.
But are there
and find something that you enjoy.
That's
it's got to be fun. You got to want to do it. So you got to ask the why. Why are you doing it? Find something that you will, like your boxing.
Yeah.
In your instance.
Yeah.
You wanted to do that. You wanted to learn a skill, and even if it's just getting up and going for a walk, doing more. Step counters has been great. So we talk. That that arbitrary figure of 10,000 steps. So for a lot of people, it's, you get to the end of the day and you've done 9-4. You're like, I better get out and do another 600. So little things like that. So little things, small changes to an ultimate end point. And like you said, it's a mentality thing. So
and certainly don't expect immediate results as well.
It can't happen.
No.
You think,
if
it is a weight loss that you're looking for,
yeah,
it didn't go on quickly, so it's not going to come off quickly.
No, that's it. Well, Bjorn joined us in a podcast a couple of podcasts ago, and Bjorn Dawson runs a fitness company, and he was saying exactly the same thing. The weight goes on, and it goes on over a period of time. And I think he actually said that he had somebody who came to him wanting to lose some weight. And he said, okay, so how much weight are you looking to lose? And I can't remember exactly. I think it was like 2 or 3 stone that they wanted to lose. And he said, okay, well, how long did it take you to put that on?
Yeah.
I thought, about 5 or 6 years. And he's like, wow, well, and when do you want it gone? And she said, by the end of this
Summer.
month. Yeah. It's like, well, that's just never going to happen. Yeah. So, it needs
Unless
to
you
be
chop off a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just, weigh yourself with no clothes on, maybe. But
Well, they're the kind of subtle tricks that people will play.
Yeah.
Like you said it, didn't you? When you go and you take your keys out.
yeah.
And it's...
Yeah, the aluminium watch off, belt off.
Yeah.
That's just pointless, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the second you have to weigh yourself with your clothes on in...
Oh, it's good to always do it the same.
Yeah.
Same time of the day in nothing. So you're getting a true thing. But every time you go into a group weigh-in or something...
Well, that's the difficulty, because at the moment with my Slimming World stuff, we are all virtual for obvious reasons. And I know already that despite that I'm doing it in my bathroom with my scales and I'm doing it consistently, I'm wearing the same things, it's at the same time, I do know that I'm going to jump onto their scales and it will be completely different. But I think at the moment, with the environment that we're in terms of I'm having to do it all at home, that's the best I've got. So I've lost this. I weighed this morning and I've lost. I'm nearly under my target, which
Fantastic.
would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I just know already scales are just not accurate.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
No,
as long as you use the same one, it's an arbitrary number.
It is. And
so
that's
if you're bouncing between scales, you're going to get differences, but you haven't changed. Well, you're trying to change.
Yeah.
But in any one moment, from one scale to another, you haven't changed.
But this is the thing. I did a bit of an experiment the other day because I often get pissed off with my scales for obvious reasons. And my experiment was I jumped on the night before because I thought I'd had a really dodgy week. It hadn't been the best weeks in terms of what I'd chosen to eat and stuff.
And it's the bloody scales' fault.
No, it wasn't. That's the thing. But I got on the scales and it was a maintain from the previous. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll just weigh myself in the morning, and then I'll text it over to Lorraine and bosh. And when I went to bed, having just weighed myself, I woke up in the morning, and I kid you not, it was 5 pounds heavier. Same place, same clothes, different time. And it just amazed me. So I was like, this is wrong. What's happened? I didn't gorge during the night
that's right,
that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And so then I did my PT session with May.
Did you drink a lot of water in the night?
No, I was asleep. Unless somebody was just drip feeding me
I
water.
do drink a lot of water in the night, but...
No, that's what I couldn't work out. And I'd had all my...
bits.
That all happened.
Yeah.
All the stuff. So I was a bit surprised and did my PT, did that, went showered. I weighed before the shower and I'd lost 2 pounds apparently in an hour doing PT. So basically it's either my scales or that number, as you say, is just completely arbitrary. And you just need to go with how you're feeling, how your clothes are fitting.
Scales.
I was going to say, I've got a thing about weighing. I've only actually recently started weighing myself out of curiosity, because I'm doing the Ironman thing next September, that I just thought it would be interesting to see how much weight I lose up to this point. But thanks to lockdown and not being in the pub drinking 4 or 5 nights a week, that has significantly helped the belly region anyway.
And your prep for Ironman probably as well. You don't want to be doing Ironman with a belly full of pints.
No, exactly.
So what's your Ironman all about? Tell us where are you doing that, mate?
Well, I naively signed up to Ironman Wales mainly because that's my hometown, so I should have plenty of support there, and lots of my friends have done it who I grew up with, and I thought if that guy can do it, I can do it. It would appear that guy trained significantly for the last 10 years, and that's why he's smashed it. But yeah, I mean I don't want to say that there are good things about coronavirus, but it definitely has meant that I've lost a lot of weight, and I've had all of the time to go running and cycling, and when the pools are open, swimming. So yeah, that's been been good. But yeah,
What does Ironman entail, though?
is-
What you have to run, you have to cycle, you have to swim. Is it triathlon?
So you have to. I mean, it is. The more I try not to think about that too much because it's ridiculous. It's 2 mile swim in the sea, 100 mile cycle, and then a marathon.
Well,
It's just stupid.
100-mile cycle?
Like I say, like just naive,
marathon.
even considering doing
marathon.
it.
I think you're
Yeah,
mad
the
for
other-
doing
the
it,
other
by the way,
thing-
Tony. I just want to say. But well done. I was just sitting here thinking,
fact-
well, maybe I should set that as a challenge for me. But no.
No, because I was going to say with the with people starting off that thing, the thing that got me into any running or anything like that was just the Couch to 5K app. My girlfriend was doing it, and I thought, I'll come for a run with you, and it's walk, run, until eventually you're running the whole way, and it just completely changed. It's kind of like reset your thoughts on fitness, because that, like, by the end of it you're running for 5K and you're like, I never dreamed that I'd be doing this. And then I signed up for a marathon, for London Marathon. Again, at that point people were saying, are you mad? I'm like, well, I'm not planning on winning, just finishing. And then so it's just kind of the continuation of that. Then happened to move house, and there was a Pure Gym next door pretty much, so it was super handy. It's one of those, if you have to walk past it to go anywhere, you might as well go in now and again.
Yeah, definitely. So I've gone so far as recently, and nobody knows this, I've downloaded the Couch to 5K app with the view. I did look through it. I was like, well, maybe I should. Maybe why not? Give it a go. But it looks pretty cool.
It is amazing.
Yeah. And is that an NHS thing? Has that come? Because I don't quite know whether I've heard it through other people, but that's just only sort of really come about recently, right?
Yes, the NHS, and
Is it?
you get
it's
to
been there.
choose
It's been there a
like
while.
a Radio 1 DJ or a comedian to talk you through it.
Yeah, I chose the Olympian because I thought if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it quick. Why not? Okay, maybe I'll give that a go. But
No, you will give it a go.
Well, I will give it a go. But I should
Downloaded the app
It's
now.
literally the
done
best
it.
thing ever.
But the only thing that stopped me from running is my size and the impact on my knees.
Just
My old
walk
leg
it.
is walk it.
Walk it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Dad.
but
The
that is the
calorie
beauty of
output is
this
the
app
same
as
of
well.
walking it or running it. It doesn't matter.
All right.
The calories it requires to do a walk or a run.
I have my mum in the room. All right, mum.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, but that is
Oh, that's
literally
good.
the
That's a
beauty of
good,
this app as well. You walk for a
slogan.
bit, you run at the speed that you can run. Like, you don't push it. And the point is, by the time you feel a bit knackered, you're walking again.
Yeah.
And then you catch your breath, and then you're running, and it just slow incrementally gets bigger and better. And yeah, it's like the best thing
So
for getting fit. It doesn't matter what size you are.
okay. All right.
You can walk 5K now.
I can.
100%.
I can walk way more than 5K.
Well, there you go.
I reckon.
Of course you can.
Again, maybe I'm thinking, Adam. I'm just sort of having an idea. I'm thinking if you signed up to do Ironman, yeah, and then I could maybe like drive alongside,
Yeah.
like, on a boat, on a motorbike. What's the other thing? The running. Yeah, and then I could just record you all the way, and I'll be the engineer. You just be like, oh, shit. We could just do a whole live Ironman. Yeah, we'll be your support team.
Yeah, I'll get back to you
Yeah.
on that one. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, you let me know.
Yeah.
You'll probably want to get out of the house though after February, after January, won't you? Let's face it. You want to just, oh yeah, I'll do an Ironman, anything.
Sign me up.
Another thing that you could do, like along that front, is to ease yourself in. Is if you have got let's say you've got a friend that is really into running. Well, if you cycle next to that person, you're
doing the equivalent.
You're going to be
That's exactly what
And
I'm
so
trying
it
to. I'm
just kind of
trying to
builds-
persuade Adam to do that, Tony. He's not interested, so you know. Again, I'm gonna leave it there in case you then offer for me to come to Wales and do it with you. Yeah, I'm busy. I've got a gig somehow. So when is your Ironman, Tony? When does that all kick off?
September the 12th.
Okay, so you got a
So
fair
it was
amount of
supposed
time.
to be this September,
Oh, okay, so it's been pushed
and
back.
then it all got pushed back. And I'm again other reasons to be glad that this whole scenario has happened, because there's no way on earth I would have even finished the swim. Like, just I've no.
wouldn't be
So it's
ready.
a whole extra year of training. So
Oh, that's good.
something else.
And is it something you're doing for charity?
No, I mean, it's one of those ones that you don't like London Marathon. The only way to get a place is through charity, really, and things
Right.
like that. So I'm not. I kind of have been doing so during lockdown I did a marathon gig,
Right.
Like, so when London Marathon was on, I played for 6 hours on a Facebook Live and raised money for the NHS.
Very cool.
But it was good. I mean, it was really good fun, and it was one of those things that you just kind of, I'm doing this anyway, and I don't even have a wee and make a cup of tea. And it was cool. It was really good fun. No repeats. It was just. And it was all requests. It was really good fun.
Oh, okay. We should say at this point, I think it's fair to say, obviously where Tony is joining us virtually, we are aware that there are the occasional lags, but you're not losing, anyone that's listening, you're not losing what Tony's saying. He does return and suddenly speaking very, very quickly, but that it is all still there. So we just have a bit of an internet issue, I think, but we're managing to pick up what you're saying, Tony. So thank you. And yeah, so how much money did you raise in the end with your Facebook Live marathon?
I think it was 740 quid or something.
Pretty good going, mate. Nice one. Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
well done, you.
very good fun.
Okay, so couch to 5k for me. All right, and maybe something for charity.
Definitely.
Maybe that's what we'll do. Dan, what's your sport of choice?
Football?
Football. You
Yeah.
play? I mean,
Not anymore.
did you used to play?
Only amateur, yeah. So with friends, 5-a-side. Got back into that last year. A load of old fellas running around chasing teenagers around. That was fun for a while. But no, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Risk reward ratio is not in my favour.
So you're worried about injuries now?
It's on 4G, 3G, 4G, whatever that stuff is, and there is a lot of ankles, knees that happen because of you stop, but your body doesn't because your foot gets
this is
caught.
the turf.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I know it was fun. We were enjoying it, but not anymore.
But you also
We
get on the bike as well.
Yeah, ish cycle to the station, not greatly, so just cycling to the station. No, I'm more of a gym bod.
Right.
Yeah, so run a bit, but not really. I'd rather do sprints on a treadmill. I don't like kind of pounding the roads too much. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my thing. Yeah.
You sound like you've removed the
funny.
active thing that you do.
Say that again?
It sounds like you've removed the active thing that you do. Your football's gone.
Well, I can. Yeah, I'd run on a pitch all day, no problem.
Yeah.
And football training, fine.
Yeah.
But just going out for a run, I just can't.
You've got to find something that's interesting, haven't you?
I prefer
It's funny.
short,
So the
sharp.
second,
Sorry.
sorry. On my second EP, I've got a song called "Broken Bones," and that is inspired by a friend of mine saying for weeks on end, "Hey Tony, come play football with us. Come play football with us. Come play football with us." And I was just like, no, it's just not. It's going to go wrong. I'm not. I didn't think I was fit enough. I didn't whatever else. So I eventually went to play football with him. And the first tackle that he did on me broke my leg.
Broke your leg?
Broke my leg. So for 6 weeks, I was sat on a couch and wrote a new EP. So
I realised I was laughing prematurely then. I'm not laughing because you broke your leg. I just knew it was coming, but I didn't quite know it would be that severe.
That was 5k to couch.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, yeah. Are you still friends with this guy? Because I mean, I wouldn't be. It's like almost like he set you up.
No. I actually have been doing some songwriting with him since. So it's
Okay,
fine. It's
all
all
right.
good.
Did you break his leg within the first few minutes of doing it?
In the studio.
Yeah, that's for football. You're going to do another track for us, Tony. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's your plan? You said Harry Styles earlier, and it made me interested
so-
even more.
So obviously, when we're doing Kingtastic for the weddings and functions and things like that, we try and put in new songs as they come up, and Watermelon Sugar seems like a tune that'll get the kids dancing.
It's such a good song.
It's a banger.
I love
isn't
it.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
And have you listened to his album?
I've put it on. I haven't really properly listened
It's good.
yet.
There's many bangers on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it. All right. So Tony Bowen is going to sing us a lovely cover of Watermelon Sugar, originally performed by Harry Styles.
It tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want more berries and that summer feeling. It's so wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without. I'm just thinking aloud. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar. Watermelon sugar high. Strawberries on a summer evening. Baby, you're the end of June. I want your belly to have that summer feeling, getting washed away in you. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it, watermelon sugar high. It's like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want your belly and that summer feeling. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it, watermelon sugar high. And I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar.
There he is, ladies and gents. Tony Bowen and Watermelon Sugar. Thank you ever so much, Tony. Tony, we're going to wrap up soon, but how can people get in touch with you? What can people look forward to hearing from you in the next few months, years, decades, lockdowns, whatevers?
So yeah, I mean, in the short term, things like we've still got a bit of space for the wedding band Kingtastic, and that's just kingtastic.com. And then with my original stuff, I've been writing during lockdown. I actually recorded a load of covers in lockdown and selling a little CD, so people can contribute towards then me going into the studio in January to record what's tentatively called the lockdown sessions.
Right.
And that's
And you'll be
all the new tunes that
you've been writing. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's part
you'll be
of songwriting circle.
please do share that with us when you are when you've written that. Let us know and send us a copy. We'd love to have a listen. Is it going to be a CD, a vinyl? What's going to be streamed? Do CDs still exist?
It'll be streamed. To be fair, all of that's a conversation in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's another podcast.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to join you on your podcast if you want to do a podcast about it. So that's coming in January. Do let us know, mate, and we will happily publicise. We'd love to hear it. So that'd be really cool if you could pass it on to us. And Dan, how can people get in touch with you or your PT staff? You're up in town, so
yeah. So we're in town. Website injuryrehab.co.uk. I don't have personally much of an online presence, but you can find me on there.
Yeah.
That's in northwest London, St John's Wood, but I live in southeast, so I do Zoom sessions as well for people that aren't in that area.
Nice.
So contact me through there, or maybe through you.
Yeah,
through
definitely. And for
the
both
Instagram
Tony,
or whatever.
yeah, both Tony and Dan, if you want to get in touch with these guys and you've not managed to find them anywhere else, do get in touch. We can pass it all on. So thank you ever so much for joining in the studio, Dan.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Adam, tell me a bit about if people want to. I know Tony is already apparently seems to be wanting to book you, which is good. They are
Very
booking
cool,
there.
yeah.
But if people want to sort of get involved and want to come do some audio recordings or need some sort of videoing going on, what do they do? How do they get in touch?
We're on all the socials, so Instagram, Facebook. The website will be up very soon. But yeah, Instagram's probably the main place I post stuff.
Yeah, cool. All right.
A DM.
Anything exciting in the pipeline? I mean, you've had a fair few exciting projects you've had recently.
Yeah, I've had a few people in. I had the drummer from Status Quo, Leon. He come in a couple of weeks ago to do some drum videos. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Big name.
Did you manage to persuade him to come and have a chat with us just yet? Or was
Oh,
it?
it was a pretty hectic day.
Was
but
it?
yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have a chat with him.
Yeah.
See if he wants to come and drum.
See what I can do.
Yeah, let's do it.
But
All
yeah,
right.
no, he was really cool. Yeah, I've got some EPs that I'm doing for some people. Yeah, just keep him busy, really.
Good. And I will say one more time as well. All the best for January the 7th.
Thank you.
Wishing you all the very
Absolutely.
best. It'll be a lot of fun.
Very
And
exciting.
Good luck.
yeah, we're all here to help if you want. But as
Thank
I
you
say,
very
the
much.
physical help will not be there,
Yeah.
unfortunately. The mental help. Listen, we want to wrap things up. I want to say thank you ever so much, Dan, for popping down and having
Thank
a
you,
chat physically in the flesh. Tony, thank you for joining us virtually, and thank you for your lovely, lovely tunes. And Adam, I really do appreciate everything that you've been doing for us since we started. I really do, and your support is
Always a pleasure.
yeah, absolutely amazing. So thank you once again. And that's it. Episode 11 wrapped up. I
I'd
think.
like to say well done to Tom. This is great. Enjoying the podcast.
Yeah.
Really enjoying it. I haven't
Thank
seen
you.
you in a while, mate. And
Hey,
you're
it's nice
looking,
to see
you're looking
you.
very well. And I wish I could give you a lovely cuddle.
I know. It's really weird not to see your friends and give
I
them a
know,
cuddle,
right?
isn't it? But thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, everybody. The end of episode 11 is upon us. Cheers! Woohoo! The Wedding Feelers podcast. Listen to our podcast. The buffet's closed. Wear smaller clothes.